If I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
According to Barbie, she is the reason people are watching the WNBA. She is the reason that people are paying $16 to watch the Chicago Bravado play the Phoenix Masculines later today. What a matchup! The Bravado.
Angel Reese built her entire brand on being the center of attention. So when the WNBA All-Star fan votes were revealed, the result was a brutal public rejection. The very player who declared she was a primary reason people were tuning in couldn't rally enough of those viewers to even crack the top 10. This wasn't just a snub, it was a referendum on the war between hype and reality, a shocking verdict that exposed the massive disconnect between her fame and her performance, leaving everyone to wonder how it all went so wrong.
The cap of caps. For the better part of 2 years, maybe even 3 years, the mainstream media has been trying to convince us that Angel Reese is a huge star. Some in the media even do investigative journalism and claim that Angel Reese is the face of the WNBA because she leads the league in followers on social media, along with missed layups and a complete lack of athleticism.
The silence was deafening. When the All-Star voting results were announced, the media narrative screeched to a halt. Despite months of being pushed as the WNBA's new megastar, Angel Reese was nowhere to be found. Not in the top 5, not even in the top 10. For a player with millions of social media followers and wall-to-wall media coverage, her absence was a stunning indictment. The numbers laid bare a fundamental conflict that had been brewing all season, the battle between hype and reality. On one side, you had the magazine shoots, the brand deals, and the constant debate show chatter. On the other, you had an empty space on a ballot where her name was supposed to be.
One reason why Mr. Dennis Rodman never got the backlash that Miss Angel Reese is getting, because there is no athlete in the history of sports that have come into a professional league and proclaim themselves to be the best or to be the reason why people are watching this league now. No athlete has ever done that. Not even Caitlin Clark, which we know that is the reason why we watch the WNBA, but you never hear Caitlin Clark say, I am the reason why we are watching the WNBA. LeBron James came into the league. You know what they nicknamed him? They nicknamed him the King. He didn't give himself that nickname. They proclaimed him to be the next one. And what's crazy is in the beginning of LeBron James' career, they said he was too nice. They said he wasn't cocky enough. There's a thing that we love about great athletes. It's called humility. It's a modest or low view of one's importance.
But to understand this shocking turn of events, we have to rewind to the moment she arrived, draped in headlines and armed with a bold proclamation. Fresh off a dominant NCAA championship run, Angel Reese didn't just enter the WNBA, she burst through the doors like a force of nature. She didn't wait to be anointed, she anointed herself. In a now infamous press conference, she laid her claim stating, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too. It was a statement of intent, a challenge to the world, and for a moment, the world seemed to agree. Brand deals with Reebok, Sports Illustrated swimsuit spreads, and a show-stopping appearance at the Met Gala followed. The media machine roared to life, positioning her as the perfect fiery antagonist to Caitlin Clark's cool-headed protagonist. She was the story.
It's garbage. Golly. Man, Angel Reese with a triple single, 9 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. She was a minus 25. She was 1 for 1 from the field, and it was a three-pointer. She shot 100% from the field. She made a 3, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. 9 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Terrible game. Minus 25. Man, the Sky, bro, I don't know what y'all gonna do. Y'all like the punching bag between the Sky and the Connecticut Sun.
She had the brand, the fame, and the platform. But the WNBA is a league of results, not just headlines. And when the games began, the numbers started to tell a very different and much harsher story. If you peel back the layers of hype, you find a stat line that tells a tragic tale. For a player who lives in the paint, her field goal percentage was alarmingly low, often hovering in the high 30s, a number that would be concerning for a guard, let alone a forward. Her scoring was inefficient, often coming on a high volume of of missed shots, and her turnovers frequently outnumbered her assists. The only thing consistent about her game was the inconsistency. Of course, there was one undeniable elite skill: rebounding. She attacked the boards with a ferocity that led the league, but even that came with an asterisk.
Now, guys, y'all saw what happened with Angel Reese. It took her 36 minutes to get it. And as soon as she got it, all these records, right? And why can't I celebrate it? The night before, she was just crashing out on social media, talking about all the fans who hate her because she cute, hate her because of her rebound. And then what got to her was the whole me bounds thing, where people are saying that most of her rebounds come off of her shots. Y'all, if y'all watch this channel, y'all have probably seen, her social media take on that night before the game.
Critics quickly pointed out how many of her rebounds came from her own missed layups, turning a weakness into a padded stat. Her game was powerful but one-dimensional. She was a rebounding specialist who struggled with the fundamental art of putting the ball in the basket efficiently. And in a league filled with sharpshooters and versatile playmakers, being a one-trick pony, no matter how good the trick, was simply not enough for All-Star consideration.
And in simple, you'll get a response. And what's this response I get? Let's go through this together like it was in real time. Angel Reese said people watch the WNBA to see her play. Today is a perfect example of why people don't watch the WNBA at all. Okay, so already this is not trending good. Caitlin Clark is out. Angel Reese is playing. Tickets for the game, $3. Okay, that's a joke they run on the Clippers a lot of times. That doesn't really get to me. Angel Reese pulling up the games like it's New York Fashion Week. Oh, this is what she wore to the game. Not mad at that. Everybody has seen Debo Samuel show up to games and play well, and also not play so well. So I'm still a little torn. I don't know what happened. Then I see this, leaving with 4 points and 2 rebounds.
Her performance wasn't just a statistical problem. For many, it was a cultural one, challenging an unwritten rule that legends are expected to follow. There's an unwritten code in the world of professional sports, a quiet contract between athletes and fans. It's called humility. From Michael Jordan to LeBron James, the greatest of the great have always let their game do the talking first. Even LeBron, nicknamed the King before he ever played an NBA game, never gave himself the title. He was proclaimed, not self-proclaimed.
Angel Reese needs to be better at basketball. I'm not talking about as a person. I'm not talking about as a podcaster. I'm not talking about at the Met Gala. She needs to be a better player if we want this rivalry to be able to have some staying power. She had a very, very busy offseason, but at this moment, it does not seem like the offseason involved a lot of Mikan drills of left-handed layups. Right now, Angel Reese, she is a wildly famous rebounder.
In his early years, he was even criticized for being too nice. Contrast that with Angel Reese, who walked into the league and declared herself the main event. She broke the code. Caitlin Clark, the other half of this supposed rivalry, draws massive crowds and shattered ratings records, yet you never hear her say, "I am the reason." She says, "I guess the shots were just falling for me." It's that respect for the game, for the players who came before, that earns long-term adoration. Angel's approach to many felt like a shortcut, an attempt to claim the crown without earning it.
On this. So even though everybody might think you're the greatest, everybody might be so excited about your performance, you scored 40 points, you come into the press conference, you're like, I guess the shots were just falling for me. Not, oh, I'm the best and none of these motherfuckers can guard me, because they respect the game, they respect the players. The reason so many people don't like Angel Reese is because she's self-proclaiming herself to be something that she has not done yet. She said, I am the reason why people are watching the WNBA. But it's not true. What's crazy is her fans don't even watch her game.
And this defiance wasn't just aimed at the old guard. It spilled over into a public war with her own critics, leading to a controversy that was almost too bizarre to be true. As the criticism mounted over her rebound padding, the term "me bounds" began trending on social media. It was a jab, a meme meant to highlight her inefficiency. But instead of ignoring it or using it as fuel in the gym, Angel did the unthinkable. She tried to trademark it.
Now, for the wildly overrated and shockingly underrated Angel Reese, I saw on X, formerly Twitter, the other day that Angel Reese was getting bombarded with criticism for her sorry performance in Chicago's 79-52 home loss to Caitlin Clark's Fever without the injured Caitlin Clark. Ah, man. Angel wound up with a grand total of 4 points on 2 out of 7. Didn't shoot a single free throw. although she did have 12 rebounds, her average, which does lead the league. But a couple of times Angel drove it and flung up just these wild shots from 3 or 4 feet that missed the rim by, 3 or 4 feet.
It was a stunningly tone-deaf move, an attempt to monetize a criticism of her own flawed game. It felt less like a boss move and more like a public meltdown, confirming to her detractors that she was more focused on brand management than on-court improvement. This wasn't just confidence anymore, it was combativeness, a constant battle fought on social media, where she would lash out at fans and analysts, feeding the very fire that was consuming her public image.
Angel Reese. What happened to the Angel Reese fan base? Have y'all truly abandoned Angel Reese? Is the star shining, the star shine dimming on Angel Reese now? Have her own people just left her? Have they forgotten her? Do they no longer love her? I mean, she celebrates mediocrity with the me-bound thing that she thinks that she's just gonna so randomly get. I know people all thought that was brilliant and so forth, and she can make whatever t-shirts she wants. You do know that patents are not just trademarks are not just given. They take 12 to 18 months for approval, and half of them are rejected.
But while the online drama was reaching a fever pitch, her performance on the court was hitting a new and very public low. The ultimate evidence came during a highly anticipated matchup against the Indiana Fever. It was supposed to be another chapter in the Reese Clark saga, but Caitlin Clark was out with an injury. This was Angel's chance to dominate, to take over the spotlight on her home court. Instead, what followed was a complete collapse.
So it was literally a case of, Angel Reese got in by coaches. So the only players that I would assume are going to get in on, based on that, is I think it'll probably be, I think Caitlin will, obviously. Caitlin will get in. And I think it's to pick the starters, I think. So I think it'll be Caitlin, it'll be Fee, it'll be Aaliyah, it'll be Aja, it'll be Stewie, it'll be Paige. Angel Reese is 13th in All-Star voting, lads. She is 13th in All-Star vote.
She finished the game with a measly 4 points on 2 for 7 shooting, didn't attempt a single free throw, and flung up wild, desperate shots from a few feet away that missed the rim entirely. Her team was blown out, and the eye test confirmed what the stats had been screaming all season. She was playing like a player lost, overwhelmed by the professional level. It was a performance so glaringly poor that it was impossible to defend.
Had lost its new point guard, the great Courtney Vandersloot, to just an awful knee injury. She tore her ACL. That was in the first quarter. That took the life out of the home team and took the quarterback out of the offense. But still, Angel looked pretty sorry, as she often does. Just being honest. I mean, as a post player, shooting a lot of point-blank shots at the rim, last year Angel made only 39% of her shots, which ranked 50th of 55 players.
This string of underwhelming performances led to the ultimate betrayal, not from the media, not from the haters, but from the one group she thought she had in her corner, her own fans. Where were the millions of followers who engaged with her every post? Where were the loyal supporters who bought her merchandise and championed her name? When it came time to cast their votes for the All-Star Game, they were silent. It's the great mystery of her rookie season. Her immense online celebrity failed to translate into tangible support. It suggests a hard truth. Her followers may be fans of her personality, her brand, and her drama, but they are not necessarily fans of her basketball. They didn't show up for her because when it mattered most, her on-court product hadn't given them a reason to. It was a harsh lesson that in sports, influence is not the same as impact.
You made some comments about Angel Reese.
Yeah.
You called her garbage compared to Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love black people. Mwah, 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 mwah. But I think sometimes we do play the race card too much. This ain't racial. This is about sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry, based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does. And then you look at Angel Reese, stop it.
Faced with this public rejection, a moment that called for self-reflection, Angel Reese chose a different path. Instead of asking, "What do I need to improve?" the narrative quickly shifted to, "Why do they hate me?" It was a masterclass in deflection. Suddenly, any legitimate critique of her poor shooting or defensive lapses was reframed as jealousy, racism, or an attack on a powerful woman. She became a self-proclaimed martyr, a trailblazer being persecuted for being too bold. It's the ultimate defense mechanism. If anyone who points out your flaws is just a hater, then you never have to acknowledge the flaws exist. She stood in front of the mirror, figuratively threw a pie in her own face, and screamed, "Look what they did to me!" The problem was, people weren't plotting her downfall. They were just tired of watching her miss wide open layups. But while she was busy painting herself as a victim of public opinion, a bigger question emerged. Was she also a product of a system that valued her drama over her jump shot? The WNBA itself is not an innocent bystander in this saga. The league gambled, betting that the noise, the headlines, and the non-stop reality show of the Angel Reese experience would bring in more viewers than actual fundamental basketball. They elevated her to the forefront, hoping her personality would somehow carry her performance. Meanwhile, actual all-stars and seasoned veterans putting up 30-point triple-doubles in silence were drowned out by the hype train. The WNBA has a talent issue, but not because it lacks talent. The issue is that it often refuses to reward that talent over noise, creating a circus-like atmosphere where post-game fits and dramatic quotes get more airtime than a perfectly executed pick and roll. And this gamble, this elevation of personality over performance, led directly to the final confounding twist in her all-star story. In a move that left everyone speechless, Angel Reese was named a WNBA All-Star Reserve, selected not by the fans, but by the league's coaches. The very player rejected by the public was embraced by the establishment. It's the ultimate paradox. The fans had sent a clear message: your performance doesn't merit this honor, but the coaches sent a different one, rewarding her, or perhaps her marketability, with a spot among the league's elite. So, what does this mean? Is she vindicated? Her confidence proven right all along? Or does it expose a league so desperate for stars that it's willing to overlook glaring flaws and fan sentiment in favor of a big name? The snub was a moment of reckoning, a chance for humility and growth, but the coach's selection threatens to erase that lesson, potentially reinforcing her belief that she is exactly who she says she is, regardless of what the numbers or the fans say. The story of Angel Reese's rookie season is a battle between two realities: the reality of her performance and the reality of her fame. The real question is, as she moves forward, which reality will she choose to believe?